Now I could leave it there, I could colour them and leave it there, and I would have some beautiful pendants at the end of it, but I'm going to do something else. Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy here from Toonpish Crafts, and I hope you're doing okay. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely so fed up with winter. I am ready for the sunshine now, I tell you. I'm looking forward to beaches, sunshine, shells, sea sand, everything. I know it's a little way away, but I am ready. So I thought I'd cheer you all up with some sun and some sand and some shells in this week's video. I hope you enjoy it. So these are the little open back bezels that I've decided to use, and I think they came from a starter kit originally, though I can't remember which one, sadly. I'm going to use some tape for the back. Now I put all my tape that I get into a tape box, so I don't know where this tape actually come from. Not being very helpful today, am I? I'm cutting them up because the tape really annoys me. It gets stuck to me all the time. So I thought individual ones would be better. And I'm pushing them down to make sure they've got a good seal on the back. The first layer of resin is going to be the front, so I can take the tape off as soon as possible. I'm going to use Let's Resin UV resin for this project. I love this resin. It's pretty much bubble free. And the discount code's on the screen. It's also in the description box below, together with everything else that I use. If I've missed anything, please do let me know. I try really hard to link everything down there. So I'm spreading out a little UV resin for the front. And as soon as I've got the front done, this annoying tape can be taken off. You do have to be careful though with any resin that bubbles get stuck in 90-degree angles. And as these have 90-degree corners, quite a lot of them, I'm making sure that those air pockets are eliminated. Once that's all done, it's time to put them into my curing machine. I'm using the Let's Resin double-sided curing machine. This is my go-to curing machine. Honestly, it is fantastic. It cures front and back all at the same time. You can push 5 minutes and walk away. And I love the fact that you can just lift the top off, organise where everything is, and then pop it back on because it's all magnetic and just clips together. Honestly, this is a genius curing machine. But I think I've said that already. Anyway, I'm giving it a quick flick with a long neck lighter just to make sure I haven't missed any bubbles. And yes, there is still a couple that are stuck. So I'm sorting those out before I press cure. You can't sort them out after, you have to sort them out before. And as my eyes are not great these days, I really have to peer in to see if I can see anything. I put them in for 5 minutes and walk away. Five minutes later and they're completely cured up and I can take the tape off, hopefully. Now this tape is pretty sticky and although it's done its job, it has left a few residues of stickiness on the resin that I have to get off, and I do get that off quite easily with alcohol. But it is a step I wish I didn't have to do. However, it is what it is and it's worked, so it doesn't really matter. But I am quite surprised that it is stuck to this UV resin. I do wish I could tell you where it came from, but it worked. Once they're all done and cleaned it up, I do have a couple of little bubbles that I've missed. But generally speaking, I have a nice frame with a glass front, if you like. That was the idea. And a nice recessed area so I can start building up my design. These are a set of 6 micro inlays. I sell them on toonpish.com. They're not going to be the main feature of this project, but they're definitely going to be a great addition. They are literally tiny, a few mil, but they have a lot of detail. I'm going to put a thin layer of resin down for a second layer in these pendant pieces. And I'm going to add these little inlays, and they are tiny, upside down into the resin. Do you remember the micro Christmas ones that I made? They were a love-hate relationship for some people, I can tell you. So I've zoomed right in so you can see this. And hopefully my camera will stay focused on the bit that matters. These little tiny shells are going to add something special, hopefully, to this project. Now this is the first time I'm doing this, so you're seeing it as it is. I haven't done this before, and I don't know how it's going to come out, but we'll give it a go, eh? I just thought I would take things to the next step, if you see what I mean. I like moving on and trying more things. And this little project is a combination of little inlays and something else. But we'll get to that. One thing I will say about these little tiny inlays is that you need really good tweezers, to be honest. These tweezers I'm using are not great. And sometimes the inlays don't like letting go of them. Or is it the other way round? The tweezers don't like letting go of the inlays. I'm not quite sure. Either way, sometimes they get stuck. But I managed to get 4 into that little frame. I'm curious to see how this is going to work. When I'm happy that they're all as bubble free as possible, I pop them into the curing machine for 5 minutes. Well, that didn't take very long. Didn't give me much time to do anything else. 5 minutes goes really quickly, doesn't it? So now it's time to take out those little inlays, and literally you just take them out. They pop out so easily. I'm going to put them back into the little case that I have so that I don't lose them because they are dinky. And I put the purple plastic underneath them so they can be seen pretty easily too. But they come out and they are perfectly good to be used over and over and over. It's still winter here and the winter blues are getting to me. I need sunshine and warmth. Don't we all? And this little project just brings warmth to my mind, and sea and sunshine and shells on the beach. Definitely something to look forward to in the summer. This time of year, I always think of making things that are warming and things to remind me that spring and summer are coming. Look at what you've got from these little tiny inlays. The detail is incredible. Absolutely beautiful. Now I could leave it there. I could colour them and leave it there, and I would have some beautiful pendants at the end of it, but I'm going to do something else. I've still got 3 pendant pieces, so they're going to get done as well. Can't leave them out, can we? And honestly, this is meant to be kind of underwater, so if the odd bubble stays in, it really isn't that big a deal. This time I'm going to put less shells in each. I'm just going to spread the 6 out between these 3 frames. I do plan on having something at the back of these, so they're not going to be the main focus of these pieces. They're going to be a soft addition to what's behind. Hopefully that will become clear later on. And the last little one just has 1 starfish. A quick 5-minute cure and they can be taken out as well. This project is definitely one that is quick and easy to do. After using 2-part epoxy resin so often, UV resin is a miracle worker. If time is not on your side, then this project is definitely good for you. And I had to count all the little shells back in because I nearly missed one. I'm simply going to use Seashell, which is Let's Resin mica that came in a 36 pack of mica powder. The colour kind of says it all really. I'm making seashells and I want a seashell colour. This is a kind of cream gold and it's absolutely perfect for this project. I'm going to just put a little bit of mica in the shell inlays I don't really want it around the outside, but I'm not using alcohol for this because I'm going to quickly spray it with alcohol to make sure all the powder sinks down into those little shells. I'm looking to try and make these kind of holographic in the foreground. So I spray it, I give the area a quick clean up because I've made a mess, and I clean up around the outside and put a thin layer of UV resin on top once it's dried. I've not put in any colour into those shells, just clear resin. Now I've got 3 layers of UV resin in these frames already, and one of them is quite near the top. I really don't want this layer to be the last layer. It's going to have another layer on top with the back that I'm putting on behind these shells. And it's getting very close to the back. So I've got to be extra vigilant that this is a thin layer. Once I'm happy, they go into the curing machine for another 5 minutes. So now I'm on to the last layer, and I've printed out some pictures of seasides, of water, of beaches on some water slide paper, and I've cut them to the sides of the frames. What I'm planning to do is to put the water slide paper upside down. I know it's upside down, it's on white water slide paper, and I don't want the picture to be the other side, so it has to be upside down for the picture to show through. I spray it with water, let it sit for a little while, and slide the water slide paper off. Now unfortunately my printer is running out of ink at this time, so the designs that I chose were the best that came out of my printer. They're not perfect, but they are decent. I tried the slide method where you put the water slide paper into the water, then placed it onto the item and slid the paper off, and I got more wrinkles that way than I did the other way. So personally I prefer the paper to be on the back and to spray the water on. I think for me personally it worked better. Put the paper down, spray it and hold it because it will bend it upwards. It doesn't take long for the water slide paper to come away from the picture and then just slide it off. I have done a couple of videos on water slide paper and I'll link them in the top right hand corner. But this is the first time I've tried incorporating this with something else. I thought it would be good, making sure the pictures are up the right way of course, to have them behind the shells. Now I just randomly chose these pictures from Canva. I altered the size and I printed them on my home laser printer. You can use inkjet printer as long as you seal in the ink before you use them. And apparently hairspray does work. Once they're dried, I'm just going to give them one last coat of UV resin on the back to seal them in completely. The sticky side is up, so I do need, although it's not sticky, to seal them in. And I'm just going to use some clear UV resin for that. Now hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? I do think to myself maybe I should have used a little bit of white pigment in this. But there's a reason for that, not for this project, but for something I did afterwards. But I'll show you that at the end. This is extremely close to the back of the frames, but I managed to get 4 layers of UV resin in there. I give them a 5-minute cure and they're done. I did finish these pieces off with leather cord and some clasps, and I think they have come out absolutely beautiful. They are so dinky, and the design of the shells is just a 3D holographic image in front of the picture. Now I just chose random pictures from Canva. Imagine if you put in your own holiday pictures into something like this and give them as a gift to family members or people that were there. It just sparks off memories, and I think they are wonderful. I really loved doing this. I enjoyed the fact that it was so quick, simple and easy. I really hope you ever try doing this yourself, because I think if you put your own images in there, the possibilities are endless. I think the leather cord actually really adds to the beach feel as well. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you've got something out of it, and I hope I've inspired you to create something yourself. There is one more thing that I said I would show you at the end. I actually ruined one of them. Remember I said I'd wish that I'd put white on the back instead of clear? Well, I thought I'd put it on the X-Tool F1 and engrave the back. And unfortunately it went right the way through to the front. So I learned a lesson there, a valuable lesson. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. I hope you come back and see me next week. There might be an extra video on Friday as well. I'm going to try really hard this month to get 2 out a week. Let's see if I can achieve that. Anyway, happy crafting, have a great week, and bye for now.